This episode of Good Luck Go Fast is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or powdered sugar beverage, message board, make it with Squarespace. Hello and welcome to the first ever Good Luck Go Fast podcast.
Woohoo!
Yeah, man. I'm Stormcrow56K, and just have to say that having a great website in this day and age isn't just a convenience, it's a necessity. And that's why I'm proud to have been a Squarespace user for such a long time. How do you sign up for Squarespace, you might ask? Just fire up your Sega Dreamcast, pop in your web browser disk, and go to www.squarespace.com. Use code GoodLuckGoFast, Investigate 311, Karnov 69420, Blaze It, Vape Nation to get 3% off your first website. And on that note, as we all know, the internet is simply a series of tubes, so what better co-host could I have with me here other than the tube man himself, the tubin world record holder, the Tension Engine, Zorilla33. Everybody give it up.
Thank you, Stormy. Thank you. Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. This is really Stormy's baby. I'm just the uncle that hangs out a little too much.
You're my favorite uncle.
I've always thought of you as kind of like my nephew. So,
well, that works too. But yeah, man, how you doing? How are things?
Things are good. We're doing well. Watching a lot of really good speedruns lately. I think we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, we'll kind of jump right into. I mean, we really just wanted to use this first podcast episode as an opportunity to kind of explain, who we are, what we want to do. Like Zorilla said, there's all kinds of cool stuff happening, events, just individual runners and all that fun stuff. So we'll kind of start off there and just kind of tell you a little bit about what we want to do. So I will say to start, the name for the podcast was inspired by S. Herzog. He would always say "Good luck, go fast," like in his sub messages and stuff. So that's where I heard it. I'm sure other people have said it before too, but wanted to give a shout out to him. He was the inspiration. And also if you see the traffic light there, that was actually made by Grom Valoon. So shout out to Grom as well.
Thanks, Grom. Thank you for that.
Beautiful pixel artwork, and threw in the GIF for us too. But yeah, anybody looking for emotes or any type of art, hit up Grom. Grom's the man. Let's see. So yeah, what do we want to achieve? What a question. The eternal question. What got me thinking about this podcast, obviously I've had some downtime with my wrist being, having some issues, but like you said, there's just a lot going on in the speed running world, and I feel like there are just so many different angles that we can cover. Not just your typical, obviously we want to just talk to people and get to know the different personalities, but there's so many different sub-genres and subsections of the speedrunning and retro speedrunning community.
Yeah, man. I feel like we were talking about this earlier, but there's so many people speedrunning so many games. It's hard to keep up with everything, and like things will happen that are really cool. It's really easy to miss stuff. So hopefully we can kind of try to lasso some of that stuff and bring it in so that there's a place for people to maybe find out about things they didn't know were going on, or maybe get introduced to some new speedruns they didn't know before, or, whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah, and even, things like maybe slightly outside of speedrunning, but in that vein, like some of the things I go to are like arcade, like 1cc stuff, retro achievements. I feel like there are lots of like close cousins to speedrunning, and some people that have, switched from one or the other, or, do both, that kind of thing. And we were talking earlier too about just how even like in the NES community, which we're, predominantly NES runners, like you could have NES runners that have never heard of another NES runner just because, little microcosms and different types, RPG runners, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get into Nintendo 64, and yeah, we want to broaden our perspectives, and we want you all to as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see here, and go ahead and move on to the next section. Oh,
Oh man.
what's
Oh
this?
oh man. Something is happening
Oh my
already.
god! Oh my god! We got partnered.
Whoa!
10
Dude,
Gaming,
we got partnered on our first.
$600,000. Good luck, go fast. What an amazing community you've cultivated here. All of us here at 10 Gaming are excited to say you just got Tartner. Man, we've been pushing it so
Oh,
hard. Oh God.
we got partnered, boys.
We got Tartnered, boys. All right, I got that donation went away. Man, it feels good. It feels really good.
After all of our hard work on this, it does feel like we deserve it. It definitely feels like we earned it, more so than maybe everyone else. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you to Tang Gaming, and thank you to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's we did this. So,
That's right. Throwing out that spare Tang change. That's
thanks
right. They've got
chat.
a lot to throw around. Thanks for the
Yeah,
Tangs and chat, everybody.
which is just funny they didn't reach
Throw a
out to us
couple more
sooner.
out there.
Anyways, yeah. So moving on. We want to get to know us a little bit. Something we'd like to do is any guest we have on the show, which starting on the next episode we will have a guest, and actually that guest is in chat. We reached out to Junkyard
Oh,
Dave, as some of you may know, and we don't have a date yet or anything, but we're gonna have him on the show here. So Dave,
we
little
should mention this is probably going to be a monthly podcast.
right, yeah, we're shooting for that solid monthly area. So yeah, we want to ask three main questions. Obviously, we're going to talk with a lot of people about a lot of things, but how'd you get into speedrunning? Your favorite speed game, or casual, or both, and your favorite childhood gaming memory. So how about you? How about you, Zarilla? Let's start with you. How did you get into speedrunning? Let's share.
I don't think my story is too unique, but what happened, how I found Twitch was I was on Reddit and I was seeing occasionally I'd see a clip from Twitch and I didn't really know what it was. At some point I was like, what is twitch.tv? I just
Mm-hmm.
went there and started poking around. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I kind of like this. And so I was watching some bigger streamers, and then, it doesn't take too long before you go like, well, what about the games that I grew up with? So I happened upon Arcus when he was in the middle of his Z1 sub 30 grind. And that's where it started for me. I watched that for quite a while before I tried speedrunning myself. I think the first game I tried speedrunning was Palamedes, which is weird.
Oh God,
But
I could never
I
figure
didn't
that
do
game
that.
out. By the way, I'm too dumb to
Yeah, it's
figure
really
that
weird.
game out.
Yeah, well, you don't have the mind for it, Stormy, because your Zoop mind is
Right.
no. Just kidding. But yeah. So I didn't stream for quite a while after that, and then started streaming actually just about a year ago. So that's what got me into it, was watching other people do it. The first people that I watched were Arcus and NES Cardinality and some of the bigger retro names that you see around. So
Right.
yeah.
And
How
you,
about you, Stormy?
well, and I got a follow up question for you. We're going to get a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit deeper. So yeah, going, and I
Ooh.
know that you also just love broadcasting too. I know you have a background with broadcasting and things like that with radio and whatnot, and that's part of it too,
Yeah.
right? It's just getting on there and putting on a show, which you do a great job of.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it is. I've talked about this on my channel before, but I used to have a radio show, and in high school, and I loved that I was just free to do basically whatever I wanted. So this is kind of like my sort of reprisal of that. I feel like I can just kind of be free and put on a show, and that's fun. So
Right on. Cool. Yeah.
yeah.
So kind of going back to what you said. Actually, Arcus was one of the first speedrunners. I probably the first speedrunner I ever saw. As far as finding out what speedrunning actually was. But yeah, I started off as a Magic streamer, and I've told this story before too. Maybe my story's not that unique either, but started off as a Magic Online streamer. Saw Arcus when he was doing his Ninja Gaiden grind, actually, and just thought it was so freaking cool. Ended up going and buying a Nintendo and playing Little Nemo, which I could never beat as a kid. It was one of my favorite games. Ended up beating it on stream. Looked into some speedrun strats. It's like, well, shit, I can do this, you know. So, kind of just blossomed from there.
You proved that you could do it with Little Nemo for sure.
Well, thanks. And yeah, I mean, like my first go through it took a while. You know, like I mean, I got a good time after a couple months, and then I came back 6 months later and got a slightly better time. Yeah. So all right. And how about your favorite speed game and or casual? What do you like? What gets you tingly?
Yeah, I don't know. um, I think, I mean, I haven't speedrun that many games really, but I really do enjoy playing Chip and Dale. I think the controls are just really nice. I don't really get frustrated with the game. Sometimes I get frustrated with my own play, but I just feel like it's a really solid game, and I enjoy that. Um, uh, so I guess that's my favorite speed game for now. But I feel like I have a lot more games in my future that I'm going to try. I didn't grow up. I didn't have an NES growing up. My neighbors had it, and they were almost like a second family for me. So I've played a lot over there, but this is almost like making up for lost time of not having one. I played a lot of PC games growing up. So
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I've seen you play some of those on there. Right on.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
yours
think
has
it's
got to be Nemo, right?
right. Yeah, it's probably Nemo. I don't know about casual game, but yeah, speed run. I'd say like some of the TMNT games are up there for me for speed runs as well. NES and arcade. But yeah, I love the variety for sure. Getting variety is the spice of life. So, um, so yeah, what about your favorite childhood gaming memory? Let's go
Well,
back.
that was a pretty good segue actually, because my there's been a few games I would say that really captured my imagination. As a kid, I really liked the Quest for Glory games on PC. I really liked Mario 3. I'd play that in my neighbor's house, and Shadowgate was another one I really liked. But there's one game that captured my imagination like no other game, and that was Star Control 2. You can actually thank you, Tiago, for that clip.
Oh god.
See,
See, Zorilla at his lowest point.
my lowest point. Uh, Star Control 2 is you can actually download a free port of that if anyone wants to try it. It's now called the Urquan Masters. I'm going to type that in chat.
Yeah, and real quick on that note, after we're done with this, we are going to post all relevant links for stuff we're talking about today. Go ahead,
Oh yeah, because we've got other stuff too. Yeah, so that's a game where you explore a whole galaxy. It just felt huge at the time. The sound design was incredible, the music was incredible, and the story was so engrossing. I couldn't get enough of the story. I would have dreams about it, and I'd have like theories about it. Like when the game ended, I was like, well, I know these were the bad guys, but I wonder what these guys' agenda was. Like it was so good.
Make me want to check
I
it out.
really think it's worth the playthrough. If anyone wants to check it out, you can play it for free. But,
have you streamed
it
that
is
at
kind
all?
of yeah, I've streamed it a couple times. I should probably do a whole game playthrough. It's a pretty long game. There is a speed run for it. I can't remember. I was talking to now I can't remember who it was. There's somebody that's around retro speedrunning that has the record in that.
Okay.
I don't remember. I can't remember who it was. If it's you, let me know in chat, because I can't remember. But
It's me. How old were you when this was? I can't remember if you said that already. Approximately.
I think that game came out. Yeah, it's probably like 11 or 12 years old.
Okay.
Me and my brothers got that game for Christmas, and we just had I think we were still rocking like the 386 IBM computer.
Nice.
And we didn't have a sound card. We just had the beeper. But I remember we loaded up, and back then you had to like insert, disk 12 and then install. It would take all day to install the game basically. and we loaded up the game, and the music and the sounds that were coming out of our beeper were like incredible. I remember saying to my brothers, like, did Santa also bring us a sound blast and like install it for us? But no, they just did incredible things with the beeper. So
wow,
when I play it now, I just play it with the original like old school music because it's so good.
play it with the beeper. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you could do that without a sound card. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was amazing what they did with it.
Nice. For me, yeah.
How about you, Stormy?
Yeah, I feel weird because a lot of this I just went over. Anybody out there, check out Lat Mackey. He has a podcast as well called Sequence Break, which I was just a guest on, which I think that episode's coming out on Tuesday. So I did talk about this a little bit, but I was like, I swear I was like 4 or something. Like I remember the day we got our Power Glove, and like I have some other memories before that, which actually me and Zarilla were talking about it earlier. My Showbiz Pizza 45 record was like probably the only memory before that. But yeah, we my dad like bought the Power Glove, and we were all so excited. Played some Punch Out, and then we were all very disappointed, that night. But yeah, I grew up playing NES, and my parents did it, my brother and sister, and so obviously I have a pretty strong fondness for it. So yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey.
Yeah, it's Sub Stiley. That's the world record holder in Star Control 2. So
gotcha.
That's a name that I see around sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. And one other note too. By the way, I've been looking to buy a Power Glove, partially for that nostalgia, and partially just because I don't want to beat any more games with my feet. But you can get the Famicom version like brand new in box for like $80. Like they have them like a million of them, but you have to play it on a Famicom. I use like the Famicom adapter. So anyone looking into those, be wary. All right, yeah. So that was getting deep. Up next, we got a little message. Very
deep. That's about as deep as we get here.
Got a little message from our next sponsor.
From this Mr. episode, Zorilla. As always, is brought to you by Squarestamps.com. I've been mailing my website to happy customers for years, and nobody does it better than Squarestamps. Whether you need a JPEG there by next week or custom JavaScript shipped overnight, Squarestamps has you covered. Enter promo code "This is your last warning" at checkout for an extra 90% off. Or good luck, go fast, listeners.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Squarestamps. Everybody, check that out. We get 90% of the profits directly to us.
That's right.
Coming up next, we got news and grinds. We got a lot of stuff to cover here. I will say too, we're keeping our eye on chat, so feel free to throw anything out if you think we've missed it or you think we've missed the mark on anything, and we'll go from there. But up first,
absolutely,
we have Bat Simber in no particular order. Speaking of Junkyard Dave, this is something that he organized with Speed Gaming for Batman NES, and they streamed it and tried to beat the record, which was pretty awesome. Did you catch that, Zorilla?
I only saw some bits and pieces. I don't think. Well, Andy did lower the record, right? And he lowered the record a couple times. Was it during that event?
Not during the event. No, he had some really sick paces. I caught most of it. I think he would have gotten the record if he would have gotten the Joker glitch. I'm sure someone can let me know if that's right. In at least one run.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lowered it. I think he got like a 9.4x something. Within the last week or so.
I would say he lowered it without the glitch. Like somehow lowered the record without the glitch, and then lowered it again with the glitch.
Right.
If I remember right.
Absolutely devastated it. 952. Okay, I was a little bit off. Thanks, Lynx and Rayo. Junkyard Dave saying would have been 963. I'm not sure how that works. 953. In the event of the glitch, but had a 957 glitchless. Yeah, that's insane. So yeah, shout out to all those top tier Batman runners. Very cool.
Absolutely. That game is hard, and you guys make it look easy.
And speaking of Batman runners, what do you think about this one, Cirilla?
Yeah, this was a good moment. I mean, there's something about the way Arcus grinds these games, and he goes for big goals, and then when he gets them, and when it pays off, it's just it feels somehow it feels so good. It's like it sends a shockwave of happiness through the whole retro speedrunning community. So yeah, that was a really fun moment. If you haven't seen the VOD of Arcus getting his sub 10, you should watch it after this podcast.
Yeah, and I unfortunately missed the run, but I did I was doing a screen capture for this, and I watched his reaction. Yeah, the pure joy. He worked his ass off for that. Hopefully he keeps trying to lower it. I know he's got a lot on his plate right now, but
He's playing a lot of games. He's also still playing Batman. So,
right.
by the way, that was one of the best clunks of all time. I don't think I'm speaking out of line here when I say that.
I love the clunk sounds too. He's got that real nice foot pedal. It gives a real nice noise. So
yeah, it's solid. And I agree with Grunty, by the way, in chat. The sub 30 in Zelda that's another VOD that is, to me, is required viewing for retro speedrunning fans.
and Rayo says Arcus Rage, which is pretty funny too. But yeah, awesome runner.
That's a
awesome streamer. So congrats to him. So up next, Game Simber, which I guess is Gameuary now. This phenomenon of every freaking game having a month, which apparently is never going to stop at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had, and we'll get to this, but Karnov, was kind of the start of it all.
I heard
Lawn Movember. I don't know. Everybody's trying to do something.
Yeah, well, shout outs to Virus Returns, who came up with October.
Oh yeah, I forgot about October.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
Yeah, hey, I played Tubin.
That was I know you did it. Rayo did and Crit did, and we raised the number of runners on the board by 50%.
Yeah, and
so we added one more run.
I did complete it, but I didn't submit mine, so I'll come back to it. It's actually a fun game, so anybody out there, check out that Tenjin Gym, Tubin. On that same note, definitely seemed like this year there were a lot of meme runs too. So yeah, I know after ESA there was Die Hard, which I guess that's not as much. It's kind of a meme run. Golf Grand Slam, the summer of Golf Grand Slam.
Yeah, it was a phenomenon.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. We had the tournament too. I forgot about that. Ness Atlas and chat ended up winning that. So congrats to Ness Atlas. Spot as well. Kind of came and died. Where's Waldo? Can you think of any others? Anybody else in chat? Any other fun? Monster Truck Rally picked up a little bit of traction.
If you want meme runs, Shar is in chat, and she's got plenty of meme runs.
Yeah, she pulls her weight. Yeah, for sure. And I guess specifically, I'm talking ones that lots of people have ran. But yeah, shout outs to Shar. She's Shardcore.
You had kind of mini phenomenons. Like for a minute, I feel like a handful of people were playing Shar. What was that game where there were ships coming in and you had to build like walls around your cannons? What's the name of that game? Suddenly, Shar was playing that. I want to say, NES Cardinality was playing it. Rampart.
Yeah.
I think Overswarm started playing it. So that was kind of a fun. That was actually a really fun one to watch.
Yeah, that's a cool game. I think few different versions too, if I remember correctly. At least a couple.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Up next, Mr. Zarilla.
Yeah, we had the Karnov versus Lawnmower. Did we already talk about this?
No, well, we touched on it, but we're gonna dive a little deeper into this.
We're gonna go deeper, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't see where we are.
That's all good. So yeah, basically, once again, and we've got Substyly in chat, the guy that's pushing Lawnmower real hard, and we got Lanks defending Karnov.
Yeah, here we are.
Car November, and then Lawnmower decided they were going to have Lawn Movember, and cut into our Carnov numbers.
Right.
So yeah. So I mean, for Car, and obviously we're just having some fun. But yeah, for Karnov, actually, Dragon Darts just got a God. What did he get? Like a 847. I think the record was like 856 last year. So just an insane year for Karnov. Um,
Yeah, I
Hyrexen.
wonder if maybe we should do a quick poll in chat and see kind of who they think won out this November, whether it was Karnov or Lawnmower, because I feel like that was a pretty tight battle.
Yeah, type 1 if you want to vote for Karnov. Type 2 for Lawnmower. Because I've got too much stuff open to
November.
make a poll. Lawn
Who
Movember, yeah.
won? Who won? Who won November?
I'm seeing a
Got a
lot of
vote
ones.
for. I am too. Karnov maybe just too strong to knock off that perch. Although twos are making a comeback here.
Oh God, I'm scared.
Or maybe making a comeback. I didn't know that this was going to be. I mean, I feel like we may have stirred up the pot a little bit here.
I'm glad we stirred up the pot.
Stirred up the drama.
All right, we've got 5,
Shar coming
4,
in with a hot take.
3, 2, 1. No more votes. Okay, so Skunky's
Right.
a 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Lawnmower, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we should open this back up for another 3 minutes.
8-7.
Yeah. All right. So I guess Lawnmower got it in chat.
All right. GG's to Lawnmower.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. FCJ also got a sub 10. Steel Thunder just got her sub 10 post Car November. Mike the V, I think he already had one, and I know Retro Gaming already had one. But shout outs to all of them. Got a couple memes here. Little Karnov meme action. The Lawnmower guys did have a U.S. versus France race. Feel free to let us know in chat who won that. Could not find that.
I saw that flyer going around at the time, and I just thought that was just really a wonderful piece of graphic design. Really like that.
Yeah, it's very, very well done. Someone got paid well for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, up next. So this already happened, but classic games done quick. Did you catch that, Zarilla?
I did. I did not. I believe, is that the one that? I'm sorry, I get them all mixed up. Is that the one that Radio did a run in as well?
Yeah, this was
Radio,
the online. Yeah, so they basically went through and did an online for all of the original classic games done quick.
That's right.
Yeah, so very cool. I thought that was a really cool idea, and some of our friends chat were representing there. So
yeah, that was I don't remember exactly when it was, but I remember it was kind of during holiday. Oh, there it is. Yeah, December 27th. So yeah, I was out of town, but so I didn't see it, but good job to everybody who did participate in that.
Yeah, and that was the 10-year anniversary, so very cool. And yeah, the big reason why we're doing this tonight too. Awesome games done quick, dropping tomorrow.
That's right.
Who's hyped?
That's the big one. I'm hyped. Once again, our very own Radio here in chat, running Adventures of Lolo. Adventures of Lolo, his grind to get the world record in that was awesome. So that's another one that was a really fun grind. And he'll be running that on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, you got a nice time slot.
I was just looking over the schedule earlier today, and man, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, all kinds of good retro stuff. But yeah, I wish I could be there. Definitely want to go to SGDQ next year. But yeah, everybody make sure to tune in for that. Let's see, what do we got up next here? So the MAME-cathlon that RGL TV hosted, looks like we got Lord BBH with taking first and Dog Developer taking second. Are you familiar with that one, Zarilla?
Yeah, I watched some people practicing for that. I like Dog Developer Stream a lot, and
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't watch the race, but the MAME stuff is pretty cool. I know you've done a little bit with that too, Stormy.
Yeah, and for anyone unfamiliar, so MAME Cathlon, I think they did 5 games, but basically they were given, 4 or 5 games, and they had to just beat them in a row, just like the Nest Cathlon and all that fun stuff. So um, make sure to check that out. They also did the Coin Op Classic. I think that kicked off the Coin Op Classic, which was just some of the best arcade runners out there. A lot of 1cc stuff, and I believe L Rock organized that. But yeah, make sure to catch that next year. We set up a lot of this stuff, assuming we were going to do the podcast a lot sooner than we did. So a lot of this stuff has already happened, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's not worth mentioning. And yeah, if you want to take this one, Zorilla.
Yeah, yeah. So Junkyard Dave set up this Chip and Dale tournament that was really cool, not just because the tournament ended up being really exciting and fun to watch, but also because it got a lot of people running the game.
Oh yeah.
It kind of brought people to the game. There was new tech that was kind of new strats that kind of came out of people preparing for the tournament, and it was super exciting. There were some really great moments in that tournament. Um, Dave himself taking home the title, knocking off. Dave knocked off 3, uh, maybe more than that, but he knocked off Hyrexen, he knocked off Endy, and he knocked off Steel Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
all sub 10 runners in that game. And so he definitely deserved the win there.
Oh
He
yeah.
also had a really good moment where somebody, and now I'm blanking on who it was. Somebody will remind me in chat. I want to say it was maybe Moo Mooney threw a box into a pelican's mouth.
Yeah.
It came it came flying back out, and then he caught it and then recovered and kept going. And that while Ranium and the Mage Pie the were doing the casting at that moment, and they just went ballistic. It was
Yeah.
great. It was a great moment. It was a really fun tournament. I
I,
was sad I had to drop out at the last minute. I got sick, but it was really, really, I think, a huge success.
yeah. I think like 90% of people had no idea you could catch the box if the pelican swallowed it.
I
Myself
had no
included.
clue.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mage Pie and Walranium did a great job. They did a ton of the commentary. Indy was on fire too. So yeah, even more impressive for Dave to pull that win off. But yeah, if you missed it, I'm sorry. Coming up next, GG Speedruns. Make sure to check them out. A good friend of the show, Mr. Dino, organizes that. They have got a bunch of tournaments coming up. The deadline is January 12th. They're doing tournaments for Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2, 3, Castlevania 2 Randomizer, which is actually going on now. I think today was the final. I'm not sure who won. If anyone in chat knows, let me know. And Eagle Island, which Mr. Dino's actually running at AGDQ this week, which is awesome. Yeah, really cool. They did the Castlevania and TMNT NES tournaments as well a few months ago, and yeah, just a lot of fun. So make sure to give them a follow. Once again, on YouTube, we will post all these links. So check them
Yeah,
out.
look into those tournaments. I know we've got some runners in chat that run those games. So
Word. Up next, Mr. Zarilla.
yeah, so I recently heard about this $10,000 bounty by Alan Chatham. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ballistics Gaming.
Sounds right.
So, uh, so basically, these guys have put up a $10,000 bounty for. Is it a certain time? Now I watched the video. Now I can't remember. Is
Yeah.
it a certain
So
time or is it a?
well, they have yeah. So and this is a video that Easy Escape made. But yeah, 5K is the first to get a 138 and 120 star, and then 2,000 goes to second place, and then 1K to third, fourth, and fifth. I'm not sure when the deadline is, but it's I think within a month or two.
Yeah,
Um,
this is a pretty interesting topic because I I know there are people who would go. you don't want to have money enter into like speedrun events or speedruns at all, because then it's going to incentivize cheating, or it's going to get too competitive, or I don't know. I feel like, definitely
Yeah.
not me, but a lot of people are put it so much effort into being so good at it. I kind of feel good about there starting to be some of that kind of thing. What do you
Yeah.
guys think in chat, if you have an opinion about that?
Yeah, and this is I know there's been a lot of talk about like the competitive like randomizer tournaments and stuff, and there's been a lot of divisiveness about this. I feel like this is a little bit different. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I know it started off, or as far as I understand the situation, there was someone who had a $5,000 bounty, and then he like got laid off or lost his business or something. And Cheese was the one that was going to win it, and he was unable to get it. So this other guy, Alan Chatham, stepped up and put in the money, and Ballistic Gaming helped out. So unfortunately, Cheese has to prove himself again if he's going to do it. But I'd say he's got a good shot.
Yeah, that's super cool. I dig it. I think it's cool.
Me too. Pretty rad. So yeah, on that similar, tangent as far as like Easyscape, Summoning Salt just released the History of Castlevania video, which was phenomenal. So I'm sure most of you have seen that. Did you have a chance to check that out, Zarella?
Did. Yep. Yeah, very cool. All of those uh, videos are super cool, and this one was no exception.
Yeah, especially since it's an NES game, and we we're pals with some of those people. So yeah, it was really cool. So check that out if you haven't already. Excuse me.
Yep. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen that one,
Oops.
but yeah, that's a good one.
And there's SPD Wolf there.
I'll take the next one.
Pizzo.
I like that slide. Our good friend Pranzo. I don't know if he's still around. He was in chat earlier. Pranzo.
That was very
just
loud.
wanted to give Pranzo a shout out. Pranzo's getting close to partner status, and Pranzo's somebody that I think is a good friend of a lot of us in the community. So just wanted to shout out Pranzo. Maybe we can get a link to Pranzo in chat, or we'll definitely put it on, like Stormy said in the YouTube video.
Yeah, great guy.
If you're looking for somebody to leave work on, if you're looking for somebody to spend some time with, he's also playing a bunch of different games right now. It feels like he's kind of trying to cast around a little bit and find something that grabs him, like Zelda did. Taking a short break from Zelda at the moment.
But, there he is.
Yeah, big shout outs to Pranzo. There he is.
So yeah,
if you have Pranzo does the sorry, Stormy.
No,
Pranzo
go ahead.
does the subtle on his channel. So everyone, not everyone. I feel like people know the big Prince. Oh, but you go to Pranzo's channel, and he just will give you the It's almost like a question. Oh.
Yeah, I like it.
So check that.
Yeah. If you haven't followed him, give him a follow. Hang out, check out one of his streams. Yeah, good stuff. And then moving the complete opposite direction, who all saw this tweet? So this was from Mike Matei, who's been involved with Angry Video Game Nerd. It was just a total shit show on Twitter for like 3 days. So I'm going to read it here. Retweet if you agree. If you use the rewind feature that's now standard on many NES and SNES games available on Switch, you did not, by any stretch of the imagination, beat the goddamn game. Mike Matei.
Oof. Coming in hot.
Hot takes.
Hot takes. Scalding hot take.
He drank some hot tang before he wrote that tweet.
That's right.
Yeah, and like me and Zarella were talking about this, I'm not trying to, just dunk on the guy. Like, it's complicated for sure. Like, I mean, I think there's some merit to what he's trying to say. Obviously, he comes off pretty aggressive. I think my biggest thing is like just chill out, like it's just some dude. Like he's I don't know. Obviously.
I mean, I was saying earlier, Stormy, I feel like sure. I feel like for me personally, when somebody says something that's a hot take in your own like niche, in your own bubble, then it might seem like it's a huge deal and like super important. and it might make you really mad or whatever. But like, if you take a step back, it's probably not that big of a deal. It's
Right.
just somebody saying their opinion, which is,
Yeah. And
kind of whatever. So
don't follow him. That's one way to avoid some of that stuff. If you're not a fan of that type of attitude. Yeah, and I was talking about earlier too, like it seems like he kind of has a weird relationship with speed running too. He seems kind of anti speed running, so it seems like there's a pretty kind of hostile relationship with speedrunners. But yeah, so anyways, that was a thing.
that was a thing. We had to mention it.
All right, and time for some more dunking. No, J.K. But another controversial topic. You want to take the ball here with this
Ooh,
one?
top 100 speedrunners of 2019. I mean, obviously, Tiago is going to be tops on everyone's list.
Oh yeah,
But beyond that, it's pure controversy, uh, pure hurt feelings. Who got put on? Who got left out? Who
and
got snubbed? Who
and
got the big snub?
and to clarify for anyone familiar, there was a YouTube video released that I think just some guy made. Saying the top 100 speedrunners of 2019. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
but
didn't
this
see it.
actually kind of gets to what we were talking about, Stormy, where it's like there's so many speedrunners playing so many games that you could see that video as this guy's favorite, or the ones that he saw that impressed him the most in 2019. And maybe if you look at it through that lens, maybe it's not that big of a deal if you disagree with some of the picks. But honestly,
Right.
if anyone that makes a top anything list, it's almost made to be controversial. So that's also part of it. Just you disagree with our picks, leave them in the comments. Like that's what it's for. So that's
Right.
fine.
And there are
Yeah,
obviously
exactly. What
tons
Lance
of
is
amazing runners
is
as well. And someone's I saw pointing out it's like they were all pretty much NES or Nintendo runners, which was a thing.
yeah.
But yeah, and going back to what we were talking about earlier too. I mean, there's so many people we like. I probably know like at best 5 or 10% of the people on that list, being in our little microcosm. But yeah,
Right.
no hard feelings. Like we're not actually trying to dunk on this. Congrats to everybody that made it. And yeah, make your own list. Make a new list.
Sure. I think it'd be cool to, see your name pop up on something like that, but it's probably not the only thing you should derive your self worth from.
Yeah.
That's deep thoughts
Right.
from Zorilla 33.
Getting deep again. I'm gonna have to pull that image back up. And then to close out the news, Rygar, Atlas,
Hello.
NES Atlas, who's in chat here. Check him out on YouTube. Once again, we're going to be posting those links. If one of the mods wants to post it now, feel free. Just did his new NES Atlas video for Rygar with the Human Theory task by our good friend Crit Rocket Runner, who's also in chat. And for anyone unfamiliar, he zooms out and you can see like the entire map. Like you can see that in the picture, which he's done with all kinds of different games. Just a really, really cool thing. Takes him a lot of time. But yeah, it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, it's super cool, and this one I feel like he did a great job on. This is a really good one because it's got the 2D ones, and then it's got the overhead, the top down ones. It's
Mm-hmm.
just super cool to watch. But all the other ones are cool too. So yeah, check out his videos.
Yeah. All right, and that's gonna do it for news. I think we got another sponsor coming
Yeah, I
in.
actually just got this fax from Tame Gaming. It says, so I guess we got to read this copy because I guess that 600 thou came with strings attached. This episode is presented by Tang Box, the monthly subscription box of Tang powder delivered right to your door. Starting at only $68.99. Reinvent your routine with Tang every morning, noon, evening, and night. Stir it into coffee, sprinkle it over seafood, or apply directly to the forehead. For a 6-hour free trial, go to tangbox.biz and enter promo code the Tang Monologues at checkout. Now,
Beautiful.
back to the podcast.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? You deserve a clap. Okay, moving on. So next up, we got our year in review. Once again, that's really the concept of the podcast. We just wanted to cover some news too, which we'll do. On all of our podcasts, probably a little less than this one, but
Yeah.
got a lot to cover. Got a lot to cover. So yeah, up first, going back to Mr. Dino. He's actually released, and going back to lists, obviously, once again, this is subjective to an extent, but he did take community voting. I think he got at least 120, votes or something for the top 50 speed runs of 2019. So, um, pretty cool. Have you had a chance to check any of those videos out, Zerla?
I have, yeah, and those are really fun to watch because, like, again, this is sort of becoming a theme here, but some of those runs I didn't even know existed, and it's really cool to see them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the good thing too is he is covering lots of. It's not just a bunch of NES stuff. There's a wide variety. So I think he did a really good job of vetting what run should even be voted on, and then going from there. On that note, so just I kind of wanted to point out some of my favorites, and Zorilla can do some of his. We did want to give a shout out to Shar, which I actually did in the original tweet, but when I checked this, she had 53 world records spanning 34 games in the last 6 months. She's Shardcore, so I just thought that was
Pretty
really cool.
incredible. Super cool. Yeah.
Taking meme gaming to a whole new level. We mentioned Rayo, of course, which I know was one of yours and one of my favorites of the year.
Yep.
The Castlevania grind was awesome. Two Snack and SBD Wolf.
Watching Crit do Rygar was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Felt like he took that game apart.
What else? Oh, Skunky getting a 1641 in TMNT NES, which was just poetry in motion. What an amazing run. Any others for you?
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but it's just so cool to see people either discover it or like take tech that maybe exists in a TAS and then go, you know what, I bet I can do that. That's part of why I like speed runs, doing it and watching it. It's just it's cool to see people challenge themselves like that. So
Yeah, and in some of these bigger games too, like the Super Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, all that stuff. I mean, they're just getting to insane levels. I mean, they're doing some stuff that literally people thought would never be human capable. So yeah, make sure to check that out. I believe he has 2 more episodes left. He's at SG or AGDQ right now, so it may be a week or two before you check that out. Mr. Dino 023. You want to take the next one?
Yep, we had a recent post. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know if it was elsewhere, but Neural, Neural is watching you.
Shout out to Neural.
All the NES world records from the year. Apparently, not including unlicensed games.
Ooh.
But
is Tubin not on there? Is that where you're getting at?
No. I don't know what you're talking. I'm just saying. There seems to me that maybe unlicensed games weren't included on the list. Which
apparently Neural's not watching you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, that was actually really cool to see it like in graphic format and just see all the great games that I don't know. It's not like speedrunning's brand new, and there's still people that are lowering records or records that stood for a long time, or they're, like you said, getting to levels that just seemed impossible. So that's really cool. It's like you hear about that stuff like that in sports. Well, this record will never fall, ladies and gentlemen, and then so then it makes it even more impressive when somebody's able to do it.
Yeah, and going back to Karnov, like I would never thought like there would have been a freaking 9-second drop on the record for that. I mean, that's just a prime example of how a game's never dead, especially when you got people like Dragon Darts running them. But yeah, so we'll post the link. But yeah, all NES world records from 2019. Pretty cool to see that. So up next, so we had ESA, which is the brother of GDQ really. I believe they have summer and winter. I forgot to do my homework on this, so I apologize. So please help us in chat. But yeah, summer ESA was really cool. A ton of NES runs. I know Apollo ran Karnov, which was pretty cool, among other things. Um, how familiar are you with ESA, Cirilla?
Yeah, I'm not that familiar. To be honest, I would say I'm still a little bit new to the whole world, and so
Yeah, it's all
the
good.
various events, I still get a little bit confused at which one's which, to be totally honest. But when an event comes up, I usually enjoy watching it and seeing what people are doing. So yeah, I'll have to. I honestly, like, I probably watched it and I don't remember whether it was that or SGDQ or one of the other ones. So
Right. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, and Base Guy's helping us out here. European Speedrunner Assembly. So yeah, it happens in Sweden.
okay.
Summer is in July and winter is in February. I know a lot of our American friends are trying to go to summer this year. I'd love to go. I doubt I'm going to make it. And some of our Brazilian friends, Malmo, Sweden. Um, but yeah, very cool. Can't wait to keep seeing them grow. So make sure to check that out.
We also had a Big 20 recently. That was kind of a different one this year because or this time because they did all no, they didn't do all Famicom games,
Half
right?
and
It
half.
was
Yeah.
half and half.
Fitty
Yeah,
fitty.
50-50. And that was pretty interesting. I actually hadn't seen a lot of those Famicom games before. Some of them I was familiar with. But you can see there on the slide, you can see the standings. Prizzy taking home the top prize, but a lot of good names on that
Bringing
list.
home the gold.
Swedish.
That $0 prize. It's a huge
That's
honor,
right.
obviously, to win that. Yeah,
Yep.
Pikachu coming in second, and Skateman 222, friend of the show, getting third. I
Yep.
believe
Skate
that was
Man.
his first bronze.
Skate Man, very talented runner. Squelch, representing Italy. Tarbash, a lot of really good runners on his list. Vintendo,
Oh yeah.
straight out of Quebec. So
I think most people in chat are familiar, but it's all it. Well, this one was 10 Famicom, 10 NES games. You play them in a row. They do it every year from Best of NES, so make sure to check it out. One other thing about Skateman 2, I think was actually worth mentioning in the year in review. I don't have the numbers, but he did a learn a lot challenge, and he learned I think 60 new speed runs this year with pretty good goals. So worth checking him out as well. Cool dude.
yeah, for sure, great channel.
Up next, we had the Super Nintendo 16, the Super 16, which Rayo in chat actually got second place in. Ellie Hulk pulling in first. Apparently, the new one's coming up soon. If Rayo, if you're still here, if you want to let us know when that is.
Yeah, and if you're doing it, I saw this graphic before that you showed that you have on the screen now, Stormy.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know exactly what the rankings mean, but what it looks like to me is that Rayo wasn't ranked prior to this. If you look over on the at whatever at
Ranked.
Yeah, ranked, and look at the point, 779
Oh
points.
Jesus.
So I think Rayo arrived with a lot of clout there. So GG's to Rayo, GG's to Le Hulk for the first place finish in the Super 16.
So yeah, and I'm definitely gonna try and catch that this year. I wanna try and get a little more in depth on the other consoles. Up next, going back to SGDQ, Summer GDQ, which was my first GDQ experience.
Yeah, and you had a pretty cool run in that, but I'll let you talk about it.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, so it happens in Bloomington, Minnesota. So yeah, I ran Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, and I raced BTs, which got to meet him and amongst so many other people, but had such a great time. Really good representation for NES stuff that year too. Um, yeah, I mean there's so many good runs and just a really cool city, really good vibe. Can't recommend checking it out enough.
It is spreading salacious
Storm,
allegations.
that is true. So yeah, and in Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, you can fart at one point if you run the true ending category. So I did fart on a geisha. I can say that is true. Yeah, BT's awesome.
That's the quality content that's why Tang Gaming wanted to join this movement.
Hey, I
Right
see
there.
what you did there. All right. Coming up next. Are you familiar with Sega Crew?
I'm not.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't
Well,
know
I can
what it
speak
is.
on it a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, Sega Crew has a channel. They did a thing called Sega Week. They've done a few different events, but lots of cool guys doing that. I'm totally blanking on the name right now. Someone help me with who runs it. Shanna Berry Blasts, Hunk of Man Meat, Zerg, and anyways, we'll come back to that. But yeah, really cool. I actually ran Booster Shane. Thank you, Lynx. Really cool event. They had all kinds of different runners, not only speed runners but casual players. So yeah, make sure to check out Sega Crew. They'll be doing some more Sega Week stuff coming up.
Cool. You want to get the next one?
Sure. Yeah. So Sabo Cup was organized by the. So this isn't technically a messenger game, or I'm sorry, a retro game, but the messenger is a retro style, 8 and 16-bit ninja game, and they ran a tournament. So they did a couple different levels. I guess this was the qualifier, but it looks like we got Kasayev took first, and any percent 2C plus was second, and Cooney taking third. I believe that 2C pulled out like just an insane time. I couldn't find the data on it, but yeah, really cool that they're supporting their game like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So check it out.
Yeah. Very cool. And then we had the Nescathlon, which was I wanted to switch up so I could talk about this one since I participated in it.
Uh-huh.
That was my first. Event, my first race, whatever you want to call it, and I had a really good time. You can see the standings there. Overswarm was a monster in that event. He put up incredible times in all 10 games.
Oh yeah, he worked his ass
Only
off
had
for
a
that.
couple of mistakes. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was really cool. Arcus finished high. Rayo and Crit 3 and 4. Ray Dude had a great time. Moniker is another one I want to shout out because Moniker started practice like 2 weeks late or something. He was like,
Oh
I don't know,
wow.
can I still get in on this? And like, I feel like if me and a couple of the people were like, yeah, well, okay, download an emulator. Like he started the whole thing late and still like put up a really respectable time. So yeah, GG's to everybody. I know some of you guys are in chat that ran. It was a really fun event.
Yeah, I had a blast watching it, and just once again, I'm sure everyone's familiar, but this is an event that RGL TV, Retro Gaming Life TV, puts on 10 NES games in a row, similar to the Big 20, but kind of their take on it or what have you. But yeah, make sure to check out that next one. Also, they do what's the other thing? Their other event. I forgot to put it in here. Somebody help. Man, my brain is just shutting down now. Where they showcase just lots of different runs. Retrothon. So that'll be coming up soonish. And that is going to do it for the year in review. Did you have something to add, Mr. Z?
That's it.
Okay. And hey, I just got a message. It looks like Tang has just sent us over a little something they want us to show off. So let's see what we got here.
Radio, you just got TARTNER.
I got partner.
Yes! Tartnerd! Yes!
You just got TARTNER. On behalf of
Oh my god. God damn it, Tartner!
Thank you for the tartner. It's pretty incredible, right?
Gaming, what the hell?
I do have an amazing community, I know that.
Tang Gaming, welcome in and thank you for the 5 bits. You just got tartnered. On behalf of all of us at Tang Gaming and your amazing community, congratulations.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Behalf of Tang Gaming and your amazing
Thank you for the
community.
14 bits.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got partnered. We did it.
Oh my. Oh my. We've hit the big time.
We got partner, boys.
Hey, we got tartnered.
No, what?
We got tartnered. We wanted to call you and tell you the good news. The stream got tartnered.
I don't. What is partner?
And we're back. So yeah,
inspiring, so exciting. Oh man, those moments were just beautiful to watch.
yeah. I just wish we could have been featured too, but they waited.
That's true.
I mean, we got slightly more money than some of the other people did, so we can't complain. So yeah, shout outs.
I don't know. It seemed a little bit inequitable to me. Some were getting 5 bits, some were getting 14. I'm not sure how they made those decisions, but
Right. Plus, we have to wonder if we're going to get a charge back on that 600K. So
yeah, that's true. We might want to bring Kit Boga in on this.
shout out Kit Boga. Yeah. So I mean, that's going to do it. Like I said, this was really, we just wanted to kind of get our feet wet and introduce everyone to ourselves. Once again, we got Junkyard Dave coming up for the next podcast. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some, topics and less of a news show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like it went pretty well. And
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I want to say thanks to everybody who came and hung out with us. This is our first time doing something like this, so probably had some rough moments, but we'll improve. Thanks everybody for being here, and let us know what you think we should be discussing. Let us know if you have feedback for us or anything like that.
Yeah, and going back, I mean, I'm just beating this dead horse, but we really want to hear, not only from the NES community, but from all the different communities. So if you got news, you got people, topics that we should be covering, hit us up, check us out on Discord, Twitter, YouTube, give us a subscribe on YouTube, that kind of thing. If any sponsors are out there, let us know. We will do anything for any amount of money. So the door is open. The ball's in your court.
That's right. Stormy speaks for both of us there.
Right. But yeah, so thank you, Zorilla. Thank you, everyone. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do the next episode. So, yeah.
Me too.
Much love, everyone. Have a great night.